go. Let's do more Willy.
You can go fuck yourself, and I don't need no motherfucking white lawyer neither.
9-year-old Willy, huh? We on part 2 of this.
Spending any time with him at all, you knew that he was brilliant. He could charm anybody.
And first of all, let me say this: if you're watching this on YouTube, you see this clip. This is part 2 of this video. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment. Tell me you think I'm handsome and shit, but I'm and this is part 2 of this video. You should go back and see part 1 and then watch all up. And slow down drinking.
He had that magic. And I don't know how many people said to me, people who had worked with him, social workers, psychiatrists, had remarked at the time when they were working with Willy, he could grow up and become president.
One of those social workers was Carol Darden at Wiltwick School for Boys, a reform school that was said to be able to rehabilitate the worst boys in New York City. The exact same reform school Willy's father had gone to many years before, when he was Willy's age.
It was just a beautiful set.
Y'all have heard me tell y'all common things like, yo, me and my dad was in the same hub. You know, when that's your family member, you could write, like, you could get, like, free letters and write to them and shit. A hub is a circle of jails. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever's the main jail in that hub, it might be, like, fucking, and these are prisons. It might be 13 jails in a hub. And usually, whatever the main maximum security prison is, that's the main jail, which is the hub. And they name the hub after that. And, another one of my bros and shit, his pop, we was in Clinton, and his pops was in Clinton too, and he was going on a visit, and a CO came down to his cell, was like, hey, yo, what's your dad name? He told him his dad. He like, yo, what's up with your dad? What's going on? We in Clinton. These are normal things.
An enormous property, a wooded property, a lake, and with people who were really trying very hard to meet a need.
She remembers meeting Willy when he arrived. She did his intake interview.
He just seemed very sophisticated, which positive expression. What if
deal with their behavior, and so would transfer them on to somebody else. And what that did was, he felt, it just created more and more intense and bigger feelings of grandiosity by
like I said, it's not much out there about him. I'm putting y'all on to somebody, but I kind of want to get to his, you know, when he got to prison, when he got to, like, not juvie, not the group home shit, like prison.
Division for youth.
Okay, I was in the
house
DFY.
Was only 2 blocks.
All right. Now, the reason why I feel like division for youth is important, I wonder what they're gonna tell us, how much about, like, because I believe he was like in Harlem Valley or Goshen or one of them spots, but fucking, I was in DFY, that's called the Division for Youth, and for me, that's where it kind of all started. What I mean is that at that point, that's when I felt like I wouldn't necessarily say that I was a part, but that that might be able to get through whatever's coming. Like almost like, yo, if I can make it here, I can make it anywhere. And that maybe that's kind of an afterthought, because as I progressed through my journey of like getting locked up, going to Rikers Island, like up north, like when I was in the county, when I encountered other dudes that I was in DFY with, like we was all on the same kind of journey. So, and it's like an NBA basketball class. Like we all played each other in AAU. We kind of know what it's hitting for. Everybody kind of know what each other hitting for a little bit. And If you tough, you just tough. But sometimes you don't really readily identify it when you just getting into random crazy nonsense in the streets and people call you bad and stuff. You don't really understand the malice behind it until a little bit later on.
Hey, don't do that!
Oh, shit. Willy was released a few days later, in September of 1977. When he was driven away in a van, one of the supervisors said to Sylvia Honig, "Willy will end up killing someone." He was taken to a halfway house operated by the Division for Youth. The halfway house was only 2 blocks from Willy's home on 145th Street. And after one night, Willy just walked out and went home. He spent his time riding the subway and looking for what he called bums, people who were asleep or passed out and easy to rob.
Willy began to remove his watch. Then the man woke up and Willy took out a gun and shot him in the eye.
Willy shot him a second time in the temple.
The man's name was Noel Perez. Willy took the watch and also a ring from his finger. Over the next 10 days, Willy, sometimes with his cousin Herman Spates, robbed other subway riders. He shot a maintenance worker in the back and murdered a second subway passenger.
Cops nabbed 2 tough kids and 2 slayings on the IRT. 2 youths aged 15 and 17, described by police as real tough guys, were arrested yesterday for the late-night subway slayings of 2 men and the wounding of a third. Police said the 2 netted $3.68 in one of the shootings and were so indignant that one of their victims was penniless, they kicked his body after shooting him.
If you watch it, did you hear that? Want me to take it back a little bit? Some people might say in this moment, that's petty. Those people exist.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
So I tell people like, yo, I've seen real you know how to do they no fucks given? I've seen the real no fucks given to the point where I be like, like, I often tell dudes like, look, especially because look, you could play crazy and get crazy. You know how they say, hey man, if you play stupid games, you get stupid surprises. Sometimes you could play around. That might not even really be you. So you hear in the beginning, like, you had people saying shit like, yo, he could be president. Like, he could, right, but, and I'm not saying he playing, but nobody wants the consequences. That's why you keep rebelling more. The further you go, the more dull you become, the less sharpened you are. And that can happen to anybody. And it's not that you looking to have those consequences or go to jail, because you just go to the precinct, right? Lock me up. But life may have been so traumatizing and like whatever, right? Like sometimes you like I always say, like, you could be a parent and you might not have money, and that might make you want to maybe shun your kids. Well, I don't know what the case is, but how much love costs? Like, how much letting somebody know you love them costs? How much letting somebody know that they matter or they future, whatever? How much the fuck does that shit cost? Mad, you remember when you were saying earlier, you was like, yo, you know, sometimes you can't tell. It's like, I already know ahead of time if you don't display that shit, then you asking for a guaranteed bad outcome. Do I need to take that back a little bit?
Of 1977. When he was driven away in a van, one of the supervisors said to Sylvia Honig, "Willie will end up killing someone." He was taken to a halfway house operated by the Division for Youth. The halfway house was only 2 blocks from Willie's home on 145th Street.
Now let's get to this
And
train.
after one night,
Butterfield, the first thing he did was go over and kick the man's feet. He didn't wake up. Willie began to remove his watch. Then the man woke up and Willie took out a gun and shot him in the eye.
Willie shot him a second time in the temple.
The man's name was Noel Perez. Willie took the watch and also a ring from his finger. Over the next 10 days, Willie, sometimes with his cousin Herman Spates, robbed other subway riders. He shot a maintenance worker in the back and murdered a second subway passenger.
Cops nabbed 2 tough kids and 2 slayings on the IRT. 2 youths aged 15 and 17, described by police as real tough guys, were arrested yesterday for the late-night subway slayings of 2 men and the wounding of a third. Police said the 2 netted $3.68 in one of the shootings and were so indignant that one of their victims was penniless, they kicked his body after shooting him.
Y'all know what indignant means? Angry. Fired up. Pissed. You. Ooh. Mm-hmm. And so the reason why I think about stuff like that ahead of time is because, yo, once you trained in that art, I told y'all stories that I went through, like, when I had the COs macing me when I was chilling, just talking, but they so upset with my antics. They just maced me for no reason. The shocker shield, and I feel like I ran into a dude that was like a pops to me, man. Like, I swear I was so stupid. But sometimes you won't even be proud of nothing. Like you kind of, maybe you proud of yourself. Not saying like, but it's like a let's say a sense of value or self-worth. Like I always felt like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was, especially in the streets, but when you get to those real dark moments, and you can have those dark moments outside of prison, you gotta find some kind of way to hold on to that feeling, that self-worth, that feeling of value, right? Because, and remember I was saying, like, sometimes I do be playing. It's not playing, but it's like, you don't actually desire those full consequences, right? Because I said earlier, like, yo, like eating light bulbs. They say he pulled the light bulbs out and was eating the light bulbs. He wasn't eating the light bulbs because he's just a light bulb eating dude. No, the way he lived and the way they got him set up, his own little personal kind of jail shit built in the state of New York. Like, I told people, sometimes people don't even, yo, you be in your mind so much, or you be away from it. People don't really understand the real feeling of loneliness. When it feel like you just don't got nobody. Now, you could feel like that in or outside of jail. But then imagine if you just happen to be in. And it'd be like, it's a certain level where I don't give a. Sometimes you just go too far. And you know how humans be. Sometimes humans be on that, oh, I got something for you. And they got something for you.
I did not think that he could be rehabilitated.
Robert Silbering was the prosecutor in Willy's case.
I think he was the most violent offender that I had ever come across in 25 years as a prosecutor. I mean, I you know, in all my experience, I think that there are certain cases where for the protection of society, an individual has to be warehoused. I thought he was one of those.
Willy pled guilty.
Yo, I've said that multiple times. I remember the first time I ever said that to Medkit. I was like, yo. And I was kind of talking about somebody that we know that I'm real close to. And I was like, yo. I know he's supposed to be in jail. And that's my, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I love him, like, but, and he do all type of violence in the name of me. Sometimes I couldn't even calm him down in the name of me. It was just more important for him to do whatever he felt like that he should be doing for me. And I'll be like, yo, bro, whoa. Chill. I just came home from doing all that time. The young niggas the nigga asked me what my name was. Like, yo, bro, who you is? Kill a nigga because a nigga asked me who I am. Now, I'm at a mental point where I understand that your brain ain't, bro, yo, bro, we grown. How much time you just did in the feds? Bro, you know how much time I just did, bro? We went to jail. Niggas is teenagers. We 30 years old now. Who established the rule that somebody can't ask you what your name is because you might be out on this block hustling or doing whatever you doing and do? Like, I understand some dudes think of it as being disrespectful, but I fully understand what's going to fall in line, and then I understand what's not going to fall in line. It don't make no sense for nobody to, no blood to spill or nobody to go to jail over something like that. It was a scenario where I kind of cut somebody through. I made a sale. I'm fresh out of prison. I'm out here selling drugs, so definitely shouldn't have been doing that at that point, right? And young dude, see, I guess he thought he was going to get the money, but I just swooped in and just, hey. He's like, yo, bro, what's your name, bro? You from over here? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what's your name? I'm like, I told him my name. He like, what, you was locked up or something? I'm like, yeah. And then he kept going around asking people, yo, you know who's that? And then eventually found out. And then came to me and apologized. Well, bro, I ain't know. I heard about it. But once my man heard about it, he was ready to kill. And I said, yo. And he got 20 to life now. And ain't nobody that couldn't have seen it coming. Because every scenario could turn into that with him. So I remember saying, like, you know, like, yo, bro, it's sometimes a motherfucker not, like, if they on land, they gonna boost the crime rate and go crazy. Some people don't like to hear that, but sometimes, bro, it could be a family member, somebody you love, like, you got to be willing to admit, what you mean I would have scrapped or match? Yo, it got to be something in your head where you got to say, like, yo. Because I started to enjoy certain things in life. Nigga, I don't never need you taking me to jail with you. What's the plan? What's going to happen? What we doing? It took me a little while to come to that point. But sometimes you gotta have something that you feel like you love. You gotta have a goal, a plan in mind. And so in that way you won't necessarily be playing. You will always be really trying to escape everything. For some people, especially when you're younger, you better hope you could get a second shot. You better hope you can get some kind of guidance to get you through just certain points. I need to look more into Willy Bosket.